Okay, welcome back, everyone. I had to temporarily stop, because I ran out of space on my drive. So we're continuing. We just finished doing the 20 grams of warm red. Now, in the time that I've been away, 5 minutes or so, you can see that the inks have oozed out a little bit. They're not piled up anymore. Okay, so now we're ready for our 20 yellow. Oh, we got to tear this out. If I didn't tear it out, 20 plus 20 would be 40. So we'll tear that out. Now the inks are going to be mixed eventually anyways, but we still want to try to keep them slightly separated so that if I have to take ink off, I can take ink off. So here's an example where I put too much on, 28 grams. And because I still keep the ink separated, I can scrape some off without contaminating it with the other colors. Okay, this yellow ink must be denser, because I feel like volume-wise, I put the same amount on, it just must have more dense mass weight to it. Maybe it has something to do with the type of pigment. Okay, 21.2, we need to take just a little bit of this off. 19.9. 20.2. Now if you make a weighing error with the red or the yellow, you're going to change the hue. If you made a weighing error with the black, it won't be as dark or light, and if you make a weighing error with the transparent white, it won't be as dark or as light. Okay, that's fine. Okay, good. Okay, so that's 3 of 4 ingredients. Now the last ingredient is going to be 50 grams of transparent white, but we got to be careful here because it's a very long, loose ink, and it's going to want to spread over this. So I think what I want to do here is when I mix the ink, you often see people mixing on a non-porous surface, so you can mix on glass, but this might not be large enough. Or we could mix on the back side of a metal aluminum plate. Again, it's non-porous, but I don't want this to move, so I'm going to tape this down. So I'm anticipating, I'm trying to avoid a problem here is what I'm trying to do. Okay, so let's do that. Let's do that. Okay, so now this shouldn't move. Okay. 3 of 4 ingredients. The last ingredient, transparent white, is 50 grams, but it's very fluid and liquid. This is going to drip off my knife very quickly here. Try to keep it towards the center because we know it's going to ooze. We don't want to get any of this on the scale itself. Okay, that's for practical purposes, that's fine. Remember, you're not going to change the hue of the ink, so we're slightly over, but I don't want to waste time and let this ink ooze over the side. That's almost perfect. Okay, so now we can scrape all this ink off, just to verify. So I don't recall what my original weight was. Let's tear on air. Okay, so 149 total. I forgot what the weight of the plastic was. All right. So this all comes off. Okay, that looks pretty good. We'll clean it up later. Now we just start mixing here. We're trying to make this thoroughly mixed. The technical term would be homogeneous, single, one. Okay, scrape that all off, scrape that all off. Got to make sure we get the ink that's on the bottom. So when I'm scraping and I see the silver aluminum plate on the bottom, I know I got underneath it all. Let's get any ink on the knife off. Okay, I think I got a pretty good mix here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some clean white paper here. I'm going to do a tap out. I'm using my index finger here. And what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to simulate the ink film thickness that the printing press will print on the paper. So I'm trying to simulate how much ink is going to be on my rollers. Now again, if the ink is too thin, it'll be lighter. If the ink is too thick, it'll be darker. Now we could try using a brayer roller to do this, but this is a quick and fast and easy an easy way to do this. So I'm proofing on the actual production job stock uncoated paper. This is the International Paper Williamsburg offset 60-pound offset. Okay. Now what I want to do is I want to get my Pantone book. And find PMS 7516. PMS 7516. Okay, my visual interpretation here is we're slightly on the redder side. Now, is that because these inks are old, or the inks are slightly off hue, or I made a weighing error, or I haven't thoroughly mixed the ink? These are all possibilities, right? And again, measuring the total color difference, or delta E, would help me determine that. But for demonstration purposes, I think this is close enough. Yeah, we're slightly on the red side. So if I felt I had to make an adjustment here, I would add a little bit more yellow, because we're too much on the